this flagrant one on Joel Embiid to the jaw of Jared Allen.
That should have been a flagrant 2.
It's not.
And with that kind of give and take, that's exactly where we're going to start here on the American Express Halftime Report. 65-64. Sixers with a 1-point lead over the Nets. Chuck, you think this should be a 2?
Yeah, I think he should. You can't just hit people in the damn face.
Oh,
I mean, come on, man. That's a flagrant 2.
not a flagrant 2.
Listen. Oh, that's a flagrant 2 easily, in my opinion. We can disagree, in my
Right,
opinion.
we can disagree.
He threw an elbow at his jaw.
First of all, he didn't throw the elbow. You have the ball right here. Put the camera on me, please. No, seriously.
No, I know,
I'm
I
gonna show
know.
you something. I'm gonna show you something. Put the camera, please. This is throwing the elbow. We're taught as big guys, when you turn, he turned. The guy's head there. Flagrant 1 because the guy hit big, not flagrant 2. Flagrant 2 be thrown it on purpose. When you take 2 pounds and you drop step, we're taught to turn. Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Alonzo, we're taught to turn.
So
with
you're
force.
not showing
That's
any.
what he did.
No, you're not showing any movement other than this. This to me looked like this.
He didn't do that.
Well, let's look at it. Okay, let's slow this down, America.
You know what,
He did not
Shaq?
throw it. He did not throw it.
Okay.
This is going to be important
Right?
because I think
Yeah,
Shaq
we
might
taught
have
to
a
turn.
point there.
Yeah, we taught to
Oh,
turn.
that's not throwing it?
It's not throwing.
You
He got
just throw it.
He did not. He's turned. Stand up, Chuck. I'm just saying. Stand
Hold on,
up.
look at here,
Okay,
Shaq.
I understand
Hold on,
what
look
you're
here.
saying. I
No,
understand what you're
let's look at the replay
I
one more
understand what
time.
you're saying. Go ahead.
Look at the
Go ahead.
replay one more time. Okay, now look. This one. Look at it leaves right there.
He's not throwing it.
What is he not doing?
Stand up, Chuck.
I
Stand
have
up,
to.
Chuck. I'm gonna show you.
Go ahead. I want to see
I'm
my
not gonna
show.
hit you. I'm
I
not gonna
hope
hit
you not know damn well you're
I'm
not.
not gonna hit you.
Stay
Get
up
down.
there because.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basket's right there, right? I got the ball. I have to turn the shoe, right? So when I go like this, I got to turn with force. If your head is there and you get hit, this right here is throwing it. I'm not doing that. I'm taking one boom and I'm turning with force to get to the basket to shoot. Flagrant 1, yes, not a flagrant 2.
We can just disagree.
I would have to agree with Shaq because
We're taught to turn with force.
because the right hand never left the ball.
Thank you.
No,
If the right hand leaves the ball,
Kenny,
Then that's
he's
throwing.
looking to
elbowed him
throw
with
it.
his left
Thank you.
arm.
But he said no. He was like, "I'm going to hit you now."
Yes, I'm
he
gonna
was.
hit
No,
you.
I'm not. No doubt
I'm
about
gonna
it.
hit
He
you.
was going to hit him.
You gotta
but
turn
the
with
fact
force
that
as
the
the big
ball,
guy,
the
right there.
second hand,
Turn with
never
force.
left the ball.
You used to
I
do
would.
it,
I would
Barkley.
say. I would say that.
Okay, unnecessary is a flagrant 1. Unnecessary
I
and
agree with one.
excessive is a
Okay, no, it's
flagrant.
definitely one.
Listen, we just disagree.
All right.
But let me just say this.
It just looks bad because
Yeah, let me just say this. Number one, the house is on fire. The Nets have zero respect for the 76ers.
Should they? But should they?
no.
Well, when a team is your favorite above you, they're not intimidated at all.
Okay, intimidation.
They're like, they can't guard us at all.
D'Angelo
We-
Russell,
we-
16 points
we-
in the first half.
Not even just him, the other guys. He's an all-star.
Dinwiddie's got 11, LeVert's got 10.
I know, that's the point I'm making. Like, you expect the all-star to have tremendous confidence, but the other guys are like, they can't guard us at all.
You know what's crazy about D'Angelo? He's not even really fast. He's out there playing at his own
the
pace.
Sixers got to make an adjustment. They
What's
gotta
the
go.
adjustment?
They got to go small because
And who's coming out the line?
Embiid's got to come out because number one, he's not in shape. Reggie said it. They're putting him in the pick and roll every time, and they compromise their defense every single time. Sometimes you have to make adjustments. This is not a series for him. That's just the way it is. Because
This is not a series for him in his present condition.
yes.
There it is. How about that?
How about Boban Marjanovic? You got room for Boban? But
Yes.
if you're going to go small, you're going to destroy what this guy's
That's right.
put together here in the first half.
I agree with Chuck saying, but if you're Embiid and you dominate like you're supposed to, especially in the post, don't shoot no jumpers, don't shoot no threes. Go and show the clip. When Embiid gets the ball down here, he's either going to get fouled or he's going to score.
He's unstoppable.
That's right. So if you do that, don't matter what they're doing all them. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about this guy right here. Urang! Urang is playing a great game. And guess what? His last name is Vitch, people. That means he can shoot. Do not disrespect Urang. Are you going to disrespect me again? Urang! Yeah.
And
Man, great. Coming off the bench,
for you
man,
youngsters
great.
in the audience,
That's
that's a
right.
reference to the Addams family.
So right there, hey, 7'7", I'm gonna get the rebound. Right, left, Urang, Boban Marjanovic.
But the problem, Shaq, first of all, he played
If he got hit by that,
Nah, it'd be some furniture moving.
Yeah,
Shaq.
sure would.
You know, Shaq,
He's got 14 and 6 in 11 minutes.
I know that. First of all, I think your point, he's played fantastic, but that's not the problem with the Sixers. It's on the other end. they can't guard him. They got 64 points. That's the problem. Bobo has played fantastic. The problem is, on the other end, they're putting them big guys in a pick and roll every time, and Boban and Embiid got no chance.
They're basically saying, listen, you can't guard us. We don't think that you could keep us out our perimeter guys out of the paint when they want to get there. And so now you're going to have to help. And when you help, we're going to splash you with a three.
Yep.
And they've been doing it. And they said, and you can't guard D'Angelo Russell or you can't speed him up because he's playing at his place. And then on the defensive end, they're saying, hey, you know what? We're going to do the zone, and we're going to make you take these tough 2 shots. You make one, but for every one you make, you're going to miss 2 because we don't feel like you can do it. You look at if you freeze it here, you got 3 guys in the paint. Everyone is paying attention to the basketball, and now you're taking tough 2s contested, which are much more difficult shots than the Philadelphia 76ers are accustomed to, and say, okay, you want to take a plethora of these? You can have these. And again, Ben Simmons, you're not shooting a 3. There's no spacing. Freeze it here. There's no spacing right now because they don't have enough shooters on the court. So what happens to J.J. Redick? Let's run him off the line. Let's make him a driver and shoot over our bigs. And that's not happening either. So this is a tough series for Philadelphia.
The house on fire. What you got to do?
Oh, you got to get the women and children out.
This is on fire.
Philly shooting 50%. Brooklyn 48%, 1-point game at the break.
Man, it's a good game.
Welcome to the American Express Halftime Report. American Express, the official card of the NBA.
D'Angelo Russell and the Nets went into Philly and stunned the Sixers in Game 1. Now we await the response from Joel Embiid and Philadelphia in Game 2. That's the first stop in a playoff doubleheader on TNT. Got a pair of Game 2s for your Monday night viewing pleasure. Nets and Sixers, Clippers and Warriors. Welcome to TNT NBA Tip-Off presented by Auto Trader. Ernie Johnson, got Shaq, got Kenny, got Chuckster.
There we go.
And if you weren't here with us last night, late, the Chuckster with an impassioned plea to LeBron James.
I said this before, America, and this is the last time. LeBron James, come into the studio. You ain't got nothing to do. You ain't got nothing to do. Hey, listen. You can pick up a coach and a general manager later down the line.
We can help you do it.
We can help you do it.
Well, what happened today on Twitter? LeBron saying, Sir Charles, I actually do have a ton going on, but I may take you up on your offer.
You have a ton, Chuck.
We shall see.
He hit you with the big words, Chuck.
How about the hashtag King in Studio? That would be great. But what you did promise last night was that he could sit in that Game of Thrones throne,
yes.
But we had to send that back. So he's going to sit in your chair.
Where am I going to sit?
You're going to sit in this back here. We kind of homemade another throne.
He also flooded people around here.
Little folding chair with the attached plastic cutlery. Isn't that? That's pretty impressive.
Well, first of all, let's be fair. You say you got a
Great
ton.
job, Eric.
You say you got a ton to do. None of it entails basketball.
It would.
Ton to do that.
So it's out there.
Alone.
But how does he have a ton to do after 2 days?
Oh, he's a mogul. He's producing.
No, he's planning on playing now.
Yes, family.
Yeah.
There it is.
Family.
Okay.
Kids in school.
It'd be great.
You don't have as many kids as you.
So he didn't slam the door in our face.
No. I hope you calm, LeBron.
still
We
out
love
there.
you at TNT.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Meantime, we've got a game tonight. In fact, we got 2, but the first game is the Nets and Sixers. And Joel Embiid will play. He will start, and it's going to be the same basic guidelines that Brett Brown had for him in the opener. He will start, but play limited minutes. Here's
stupid.
Here's what he did. What's stupid?
You're going to be on the court.
You're going to play. You're going to play. And first of all, let me tell you something. What
He got left knee tendonitis.
Well, don't play then. Cause first of all, he was half-assed the other night. Ernie,
So you think he shouldn't play?
I don't think he should. Ernie, he shot 5 threes and missed them all the first quarter. Like,
That ain't got nothing to do with tendon.
No. But I'm saying he set the tone for the game, Shaq. Like they were just like every time he got in the paint, he scored. Got a 3-point play. But he shot. Then that was stupid. But the 5 threes, the first quarter, set the tone for the game, Ernie. But Ernie, you either got to play or you can't play, Ernie. You can't say a game time decision. Now, I just disagree with it totally.
Ernie, one thing we know about tonight is me and Chuck is big guys. It's not going to get any worse. But as you start to play and start to warm up, it loosens up. It gets a little better. So if you're going to play, like Chuck is saying, you got to play, not limited minutes. This is the playoffs.
Well, aren't we all on limited minutes in the playoffs? You're going to play 40 minutes. No one plays the whole game. So
You played 20 minutes, kid.
Yeah, but to say it, to come in.
No, kid, you think, what are you saying, we're going to play, give 20 minutes?
Yeah, then you're going to play the whole second half. You're not going to start.
Yeah, 24 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, I just don't understand the limited minutes, because if you're that hurt where you need to have a limitation on you,
you
shouldn't play. Because you don't let the team get into a style of play when you're the main guy. Now, if you're a guy coming off the bench,
but when you come out the first quarter and go through the motions to shoot 5 threes,
in a row.
A 7-2 guy who scored in the basket in the paint every time he touched a 3-point play, shot a bunch of free throws. But when you come out lackadaisical and just jack up threes, that set the tone for the whole game.
Let's shift to Brooklyn because they played a great opener. Defensively, Philadelphia had their hands full with guys like Karis LeVert and D'Angelo Russell. And the Karis LeVert story is a great one because back in November, he dislocated his foot. It was a terrible looking injury, but they didn't need surgery on it. And he has come back in those first games of the year, those first 14 games of the year, he had at least 20 points 7 times. In the next 26 games when he came back, only twice did he have 20, had 23 in the opener.
Well, to me, it's about Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. They got to step up on the defensive end. And Ben Simmons got to guard this guy. But to me, Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler got to slow LeVert.
Well, this is very much what it looked like when Philadelphia lost before these trades and they brought in Tobias last year. They got shut down by Boston on the perimeter. Their perimeter guys were shut down, and they weren't able to make plays. So they made trades to bring in Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, so that wouldn't happen, and J.J. Redick, and now guys got shut down on the perimeter again.
Who you like?
I like Brooklyn because the worst type of team to play is a team that has nothing to lose. All year, nobody has mentioned Brooklyn. They're playing loose. Their goal was to get one. They got one, but I think they can get game 2.
The Sixers, they're all in. When you go out and get Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris, you're all in, period.
Chris Carter, let's take advantage of this rare opportunity. LeBron's basketball IQ would add something to the show.
Oh, Chris Carter, listen.
Wow.
Oh, Chris, I'm not going to take a shot at you.
Why not?
Wow. Nick Wright. I mean, you come on at 6 o'clock in the morning when everybody's sleeping.
It is starting for the Philadelphia 76ers, and the playoffs are underway. And now Dinwiddie drains a 3. Brooklyn can't miss right now. A 3 by Carroll.
Philadelphia down by 9.
Here's LeVert off the window. It's a 16-point lead. Philly can hold for the final shot of the half and get the deficit to single figures again. Fires for 3. Hits it at the buzzer. Jimmy buckets. Butler foul. Count it. He's got 29. He went for 30 at the line. 6-point lead midway through the third. Redick's on Dinwiddie now. Step back 3. On the money for Spencer Dinwiddie.
How good is that?
Here's D'Angelo Russell at 14 in the third. Picks up where he left off. Pushes the lead back to 16. Philly basically conceding here. The Brooklyn Nets take game 1 in Philadelphia, sending Joel Embiid and the Sixers home with a loss.
Well, game number 1 didn't necessarily go the way Ben Simmons and the rest of the Sixers would have hoped, but as Jimmy Butler said, they're not down 0-4. Just the beginning of a series. We get a chance to get more on this. Part of the broadcast team of the Sixers, Ala Abdul Nabi, kind of to join us. He is sort of sitting on the bench, so I hope they didn't confiscate your cell phone. We'll get into that in a bit. Those jokes are never going to get old. Let me start with this. It seemed like, from a chemistry standpoint on the floor, things weren't where they need to be. How concerned should Sixers fans be, Ala, about what they witnessed in Game 1?
I think you should be a little concerned because if not for, when you look back at the regular season series, if not for a late Jimmy Butler 3 in Brooklyn, they've won that series and the overall series 3-1 as far as the 4 games in the regular season are concerned in a head-to-head matchup. So they've played well and had success against the 76ers in the past using basically the same exact formula where you spread the floor out and you're basically going one-on-one, daring for the guys to be able to keep them in front. And at times the 76ers have failed to do that, giving up layups not only to the initial driver, but then the guys that create. They dish off and get guys available and basically make scorers out of guys that really aren't scorers.
A la Derek Fisher here. How important tonight is it for the Sixers to get off to a really good start, get the fans back behind this team? You see J.J. Redick warming up right behind you. He's one of the top first quarter scorers in our league in recent years. How important is that to get off to a good start tonight?
Oh, it's huge, Derek, because this is the best first quarter team in the league, averaging right around 30 points in that first quarter, and they struggled and were out of character, and I thought that set the tone for the rest of the afternoon. So you're absolutely right. You know what it's like being on the sidelines. You've got to get off to a good start because you want the crowd behind you. If you stumble, I think the crowd will play against you, and that could be ugly.
A la Jason Terry here. Talk about Philly's bench. They struggled in game 1. Obviously, Brooklyn has one of the best benches, very explosive in the league. And so how are they going to have some effectiveness in tonight's matchup?
Well, I think the defense is the important part when you think of the second unit because this is a team that relies on their 5 starters to really score. So they're bench hasn't really been relied upon all season long. So you don't look for them to score, although whenever they do score, that's gravy. But they've got to be able to check people, and I think that's really where it's hurt them. But, again, when you look at those starters, Tobias Harris struggled, Ben Simmons struggled. Those guys need to play better for them to have a chance.
As of now, by the way, we found out that Jared Dudley not going to play, so they're 1 short on their bench with the Nets, and we'll see whether or not Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. I know we got a Wildcat in the building here in Jet. You mentioned Ben Simmons, Al. I got to ask you about this because the aggressiveness at times is great. That's his nature. But then he seems passive trying to get to the hole. How much of that is fear of getting to the free throw line and getting fouled?
Well, I think it might play a little bit of a role, but give credit to the Nets, too, for what they've been able to do. They're putting 2 guys in the lane. They're doing a great job of getting back and clogging up avenues for him. But what I think Ben needs to do still is he needs to continue to push it, if not for his own buckets, get guys like J.J. Redick and others involved before the defense can go back and get set. So I think if not run for himself, at least run to get other guys' game going a little bit in the transition game.
I don't know if they sent, to close this out here, all us thank you notes, but Twitter was very happy about the cell phone issue. If you haven't noticed, there are memes everywhere. But you know how people are. They try and say that's a depiction of the culture. That's an issue. What have you heard in conversations you've had about what went on behind the scenes beyond the fine that we know about in terms of the aftermath of that cell phone incident?
Well, it was a bad thing. It was bad optics for sure, especially on live TV, national TV for that matter, during a big game. But I'm also going to be inclined to say let's not blow it out of proportion. I think it's not an issue moving forward. I think the 76ers have done a good job of dealing with it. Now, if it was something that would linger, I think you'd look back on it and say that was a decisive moment or a turning point. But I think it's in the rearview mirror. At least I hope it is.
All right, Al Abdelnaby joining us, which we appreciate, from Philadelphia, 1-0 lead right now in this series for the Sixers. We're going to check out Embiid and kind of where he was shooting from, because this is the interesting thing. The shot chart, and it was one possession that was odd in the first quarter where we were talking about this earlier today. Got 3 fouls, Fish, on Jarrett Allen, and he's taken 2 threes in a row. How much does that signify to you that he doesn't feel healthy and good enough to want to bump, get contact, and go in the middle?
Well, it tells me a little bit. That in particular without probably practicing a lot at a high level or at least high intensity in recent weeks, that his energy, his conditioning is not at playoff levels. But he got to the free throw line 18 times. So I think he still made the effort. But as Ala just mentioned, the Nets kept a lot of bodies crowding the paint, and they really forced the Sixers to play from the perimeter other than J.J. Redick. And so we'll see if Joel makes an adjustment tonight to really stay around that painted area and impose his will.
Yeah, I happen to be lucky. I got a great guard pairing, and I'm not part of any of it right here, that I'm sure both of you guys, Jet, would love to play with. You did when you think about Shaq. A guy like Embiid, Because if he's down in the post, it's creating so many open shots for everybody else, especially because the Nets don't have any bigs. How much better are the Sixers, especially for this matchup with the Nets, when they have him in the post versus outside?
Well, the only thing I will say with that is when Embiid is in the post, because Jared Allen is one of our best rim protectors in our league, and then Ed Davis is a serviceable defender, they're really not double teaming him. The only time the other guys can, take advantage of their opportunities is when Joel gets double teamed. He's had a lot of one-on-one matchups in this series, and so he's going to really get to the free throw line or score a bucket when he's in those situations. So the other guys really won't benefit from that. So until they double team him, then he can be more effective with being able to facilitate.
All right, everything except basically flying down, because we only saved that for one guy who was a shooter. But you look at Jimmy Butler, we know, hey, look, he can make shots, he can make big shots. That was no shock fish. End of the first half, 23 points, hits that buzzer. He kept him in that game. But now you come into game two, and roles probably need to be a little bit different. So how does Jimmy fit in if you're going to get more out of Harris and Simmons and Embiid?
Well, I thought that Jimmy Butler stepped on the gas a little bit, maybe too much, after he realized in the first half a couple nights ago that nobody else really was ready to go right from the start. So as you mentioned, the last part of that second quarter, he really kept them close enough to have a chance. Tonight, I think the balance needs to be better. However, you always need that alpha male in these situations to take the lead and not wait for other people. There were a lot of nights Kobe or Shaq or Pau Gasol, they didn't wait for their teammates. They imposed their will on their teammates as well as the opponent. So there needs to be some balance in terms of game plan. But as a player for Jimmy Butler, he needs to think about doing whatever it takes to win. And if that's getting buckets and just getting the win tonight, we can figure out strategy later. We got to win and tie the series back up tonight.
Last thing quickly, they got to activate Tobias Harris. He'll do anything in the flow, but he's a Long Island kid. You know he wants to be big in this series. He could play. We'll see what happens with the Sixers tonight. Speaking of getting buckets, in case you haven't heard, Steph Curry can hit a 3 or 2 or 2 trillion. We'll take a look at Game 2. How contentious will this one be?